In this video, we're going to continue over the thyroid gland. Now, as you can see, the thyroid gland, it is located where? At the neck, near the larynx. So, this is the larynx. Now, if you look at this detailed structure, it is made up of the left lobe and the right lobe, and then it is connected by the what? By the isthmus. The isthmus is just connecting the right lobe and the left lobe of the thyroid gland. Now, one thing which you have to understand is that, which is the very important thing, it is that the thyroid gland, it is the gland that produces a hormone which we call thyroxine. Thyroxine. Now, thyroxine, it plays major roles in the body of a human being. Now, some of these roles of which thyroxine plays is that it controls the basal metabolic rate. So it is the one that is responsible for basal metabolic rate, which we know as BMR. Now, what is basal metabolic rate? Basal metabolic rate, this is just the minimum amount of energy your body needs to perform basic life-sustaining functions while the body, it is what? It is at rest. So when your body, it is at rest, it requires a minimum amount of energy of which it is needed to perform life-sustaining functions. These life-sustaining functions can be digestion, they can be blood flow, and also when we talk about let's say breathing is also one of the life sustaining uh, function, breathing. So it will require energy in order for these functions to do what? To take place. Now, thyroxine does not end there, just no. It is also responsible to stimulate respiration of what? Of glucose and fats. So it stimulates respiration of glucose and fats in order for the energy to be available. So in order for the energy to be available, thyroxine also plays an important role by stimulating the process of respiration for glucose and fats, and it is also capable to control the growth and the differentiation of cells. Now, since we have talked about some of the functions of this thyroxine, but we also need to understand the how it is being made. So the formation of thyroxine by the thyroid gland requires iodine. So a question might come: name the element which is needed by the thyroid gland to form thyroxine. That element is known as iodine. So iodine, it is the element that is required for the formation of thyroxine. So in order for thyroxine to be formed by the thyroid gland, there is a need of what? Iodine. Now, lack of iodine leads to a condition known as what? Goiter. So if we have no supply of iodine, no, if your body doesn't have iodine, if there's no supply of iodine, it leads to a condition known as what? Goiter. Now, what is goiter? Goiter, this is just the swelling of the thyroid gland. When the thyroid gland starts to swell, which simply means that there is a lack of iodine, and then that condition is known as what? It is known as goiter. Now, one thing which you have to understand is that overproduction of thyroxine, overproduction of thyroxine, overproduction of thyroxine leads to a condition known as hyperandrogenism. hyperactivity. Now, what is hyperactivity? Hyperactivity. So if there is high secretion or overproduction of thyroxine, it leads to a condition known as hyperactivity. Now, what is hyperactivity? Hyperactivity, this is just it is just characterized by an increase in metabolic rate and heart rate. If the heart starts uh, to pump very fast, and also if the metabolic reactions in the body they are happening at a very fast rate, or maybe there are some symptoms which we say like extreme irritability, if you are maybe too much sensitive, which simply means that there is high secretion of thyroxine, which is the condition known as what? Hyperactivity. And then this, since there are a number of metabolic reactions happening at the same time, more like very fast, it leads to the loss of body mass. That's what you have to understand. There is also the loss of body mass if there is high secretion of what? Thyroxine. Now, one thing which you have to understand as well is that if there is under secretion of thyroxine, so if we have under secretion of thyroxine, now under secretion of thyroxine leads to the condition known as myxedema, which is spelled like this: myxoedema. So this condition, myxedema, it is the one where the condition is characterized by, since we have said that under secretion of thyroxine lead to the condition known as myxedema. Let me just write it properly, not the way I've written it. Myxedema. So this condition, it is characterized by where the BMR, the basal metabolic rate, and the mental development are being what? Retarded. Instead of them growing, these processes they starting becoming very slow, because there is what? Under secretion of thyroxine. Because you understand that thyroxine, it is there to do what? To stimulate basal metabolic rate and other it's not, I mean, like other metabolic rates that are necessary maybe for the development, or maybe it can be the growth of the person. Now if there's under secretion of this, which simply means that the basal metabolic rate will be retarded, and also the mental development will be also retarded. Instead instead of us having an increase in these metabolic rates, but there will be a decrease in these metabolic rates. Now there's also a condition known as cretinism. If we have uh, low secretion or under secretion of thyroxine, there's this condition known as cretinism. Now, what is cretinism? This is just a condition where the physical, mental, and sexual development of the child are retarded. So if we have under secretion of thyroxine, which simply means that we might have the condition known as cretinism. Now this cretinism, this is just it is characterized by physical, mental, and sexual development of a child are being retarded. Now a person or a child suffering from cretinism is known as a cretin. A cretin. A cretin is a person suffering from cretinism. Now, having understood this, we have to understand that, as you can see from this diagram, there is also a gland which is known as the parathyroid gland from there. So that is the parathyroid, and also that is a parathyroid. Now, this parathyroid gland, it is the gland that is responsible to release the hormone called parathyroid. Parathyroid or parathyroid hormone. So this parathyroid or parathyroid hormone, it is the one that is responsible to increase the levels of calcium ions in the blood stream. So the parathyroid, it is being released when the body has low calcium levels in the blood stream. That's what you have to understand under this topic. Thank you.